I've always been a bit of a foodie, so comfort foods really interest me. You can learn a lot about a person from their comfort food. For example, I have a friend who, when I asked hers, she replied that it was pasta. She then explained that she ate Chef Boyardee as a kid. I commended her peasant-level good taste, but then went on to tell me about how, since she is of Italian heritage, her mom home-makes a lot of Italian food, including pasta. So anything pasta or Italy related has special connection for her. I found her explanation really interesting. I'd have never realized that living in the heart of the South, her Italian ancestry still influenced her. She also told me that she could eat pasta salad all day, which I can relate to on a spiritual level. As for me, I think I've got an interesting combo of foods when it comes to comfort-based consumption. To begin with, the first that always comes to mind when I think about comfort food is boxed mac and cheese. Yes, I know that most attest that homemade is superior, but the box just suits me best. It's so accessible, and the lack of quality and effort somehow makes it like a child's food, which just enhances the nostalgia of the dish. Boxed mac and cheese has the most longevity out of my comfort foods, coming from before I can remember and enduring till now. I ate it as a kid since I'm pretty sure it's basically an American staple. Then, when I moved to China, it was harder to get and became a delicacy. I remember trying to make it and not realizing that you were supposed to drain the water before adding the powder. It ended up being more of a soup, but it was still close enough to the real thing to satisfy my year-long cravings. Now, after moving back to America, it's still one of my favorite things in the world, even though I barely eat it. I was feeling really down, though, last year, and the treatment that I found worked best was making myself a box of mac and cheese and delighting in its gooey glory while sitting on the couch crying to The Little Prince, which, if you haven't seen it, is well worth the watch. I'm trying to eat vegan now, and I've yet to try vegan mac and cheese, but I hope someone's found a way to make it taste the same. However, there is some food that I've always considered the exception in my diet, and that's Chinese food, specifically authentic Chinese food from Dongbei province. It just holds so many memories for me. I remember the first few years I adamantly refused to eat quote-unquote Chinese food from American-style restaurants, because it just felt like such a betrayal of who I was and where I considered myself to be from. Even now, I feel a little bit guilty eating non-authentic Chinese food, but the real stuff will always be golden to me. Jiaozi, garlic shoots, yang rou chua. Sorry, I still butcher this pronunciation. Hot pot, and the list goes on and on. Even gong bao ji ding, though I stopped liking it as I got older, now I'd probably hike a mile just for the taste. And no kung pao chicken is just, okay, please don't call it that. If we're speaking of Dongbei food, though, let me just say that I'd probably commit crimes for a meal of chunbing. It's been about 5 years, but I can still recall the smell of each and every dish. Last but not least, monster drinks. I'm in love with them. I literally tried to write a poem about them. I'd have overdosed on them already if it wasn't for my current lack of cash keeping me clean. But still, whenever life gets too much, I'll allow myself to spend those few extra dollars on a can at the gas station. The moment the liquid touches my lips, I close my eyes and the world just becomes good. I started off with the coffee ones, but now I'll drink anything Monster. The cans are just so pretty, and the taste is so good. Not to mention the feeling of the caffeine coursing through my blood is just the perfect pick-me-up after a long day. The amount of people who've told me I'll die from monster drinks is actually kind of funny. But come on, I don't smoke, I don't drink, and gosh knows, a mental basket case like me could use something once in a while. So just let me claim this one little vice. So yeah, if you want to cheer me up, Just give me some mac and cheese, Chinese food, or a monster. I've yet to try combining all three into one meal, but I think I'll save that for an emergency. In the meantime, you'll find me hesitantly testing whether milk tea powder works with milk substitutes, because if it does, I may have to add that to the list. That is, if I can ever figure out where to get more packets of that one obscure tea I discovered in the cabinet a while ago.
Well, we fell apart.